I'm Caitlin.
I'm Caesar.
And
don't forget to like and subscribe.
We gotta redo that one again.
Yeah.
But I'm Caitlin.
That's actually what I was going to say, but I couldn't think of what was this? I knew there was something important I was supposed to say. I couldn't think.
What important thing could we possibly say on a YouTube channel? Oh yeah, we should say you should like and subscribe.
That's right.
Hi everyone, I'm Caitlin.
Hi, I'm Caesar, and we are Seize the Game.
So Caesar, what are we talking about today?
Today we're going to be talking about why do we game? Just why do we game? And I think that we have to start with how do we start gaming?
Mm-hmm.
So how did you start gaming?
So I come from a very competitive family. Sports run our family's life. Every single weekend, even to this day, we coach volleyball. My family and I, we run our own volleyball club. And growing up, though, we had baseball every weekend during the summer, so we were constantly traveling. I've traveled around the country to watch our friends play sports, and it was just something we always did with sports-wise. But then we also would play card games like Phase 10. We played Racco, a game called Manipulation that I think my dad made up. I don't think it's actually a real game that we would play. So it was always just something we constantly did. And then I met someone named Ceasar. And then we started dating.
Yeah, that's me.
And we got engaged. And I was like, why is he spending every weekend playing board games? What's his hobby? That's all about. So I was like, well, if we're engaged at this point, I probably should figure out what he enjoys doing, because I do really love supporting you in everything that you love and your passions.
I appreciate it.
And I have a favorite animal. And my favorite animal
cows.
Are cows. I love cows so much. Being here in Wisconsin, naturally, team cows, team dairy steed. We got those moves. So him and his friend were like, hey, we want to get your fiance into the hobby. What game should we have her play first? And Caesar's just like, well, hey, she likes cows.
Yeah.
So my first game that I've ever played in the hobby, I don't like some of the other intro games too that people have played, is Great Western Trail. This is the second edition, not the one I played. But throughout the game, you were buying and selling cows. And I was like, wait, so you're telling me in a board game I can go and buy and sell cows?
Yep.
And I was like, dude, I'm sold. Then we played some other games. We have Rise to Nobility, but we haven't played in a while, but this was one of my first games into the hobby.
That was actually the first game.
And another game called 878 Vikings, which was a lot of fun. And I realized this hobby is a lot of fun for me. And it was something that you wanted to do, and I wanted to be there with you. And so I was like, you know what? Let's do it. So when we started dating, Caesar had 4 games. By the end of our first year together, I think we were about at 20 to 50 board games at this point. And now we're about 300, which is super, super cool. But Caesar, what about you? How did you get into gaming?
It started with me going over to my best friend's house back when I was a little Caesar. And then he showed me this game. You know who you are. He showed me Catan. And I thought board games are all roll and move. You just roll and then you just move your little piece. But this game was different. You had territories and you were rolling to get resources. You were negotiating. This just blew my mind as you can do this with a board game. I was like, oh man, there must be some other board games that can do that. Well, in fact, I never looked to see what those other games were. But then a couple years later, this is back now when I was a much older Caesar. I was really big into Game of Thrones at the time. Game of Thrones had just started. I think it was in its in between the second and third season of Game of Thrones when it was hot. I read all the books, and there was just happened to be a board game store right by my house. And so me and my cousin went to a game store, and this is where I got my first game. It is Game of Thrones, the board game. And I was like, oh, this reminds me of that game, Catan, where there's more than you can do to just roll and move. And so then I just started absorbing all the knowledge of the board games I could. I started going on YouTube and looking at all the different games, and then ended up joining a gaming group, learning a whole bunch of new games every week. It was one of my favorite times as a gamer. And then, just went off from there. So, why do we game?
And I think we both have different answers to this question too, but they're also kind of similar as well. But Caesar, do you want to start first with why you game?
Yes, I love the story that the game tells. I love how you can sit down and pretend that you're connecting a railroad to another city, and how the story that it unfolds from doing that. Like, oh man, you blocked me here from connecting my route and stuff. I love the story that comes from the board games, and it's fun. Board games are they're fun. I love doing playing cards and doing a whole bunch of combos and seeing how all the mechanisms are just working together. So much fun. I love the banter between the players going back and forth. And like the best part of them is the community. And the community that's around there, it's fun just to have a laugh and just have a distraction away from all the bad things that are happening in the world, and just having that community and people, friends that you make just by playing a game together is huge. One of those relationships is with my dad. That board game group that I joined, like he actually initiated that board game group and got me to go there. And he started gaming just to spend time with me on doing all those games and playing games with me. So like our relationship grew because we were able to play these games together, which I always really appreciated that he did that. And so now he's addicted to the board games as well. We have that relationship built because of board game.
Yeah, and I think like you were saying too, that relationships, even like you've done that with your dad. Like I've also got to game with your dad. I get to game with my parents. Usually whenever we get to host Thanksgiving at our house, and part of it is we then make our family play board games with us too. So it's something that now we can actually bring both of our families together to do, which we love so much. And I think that's a huge reason why I game is just the people. I'm an extrovert through and through. Like, put me around people, I'm gonna make new friends that day. It's gonna be great. And through this hobby, we've been able to make some of our best friends, I think, in the world. Where I think just recently I was talking with one of my friends too, and I said, if we got remarried, looking at who we've stayed up in our wedding, who would we invite to our wedding, we're like, oh man, we would invite like our gaming friends because they're just such great people.
And our reception would just be a big
board game convention. It would be a board game convention for our reception. Comment down below if you would want to come to that reception. I think it'd be a great time. But now it's just something that I love so much. I know just two people who really stand out to me. There's definitely a lot more than two, but two of them actually now have their own YouTube channels, sharing their love of gaming too. We have our friend Chris, who we actually met during COVID, and same thing with our friend Scott. Chris, the board Midwestern Meeple, he actually lives like an hour away from us. We found out originally we met him during COVID, and we were able to play board games with him. And now he's one of our closest friends. We love Chris. Chris and I are terrible at rolling dice together. Like, we embrace it. And like, you're going through the storytelling too. Like, you guys got to play like Mr. President together, which was so much fun. Just to be able to hear Caesar then talk about his love of the game and love the storytelling. Like, he'll get home, he's like, dude, you will never believe what happened in the game today. We fought this monster. We definitely maybe started World War III today, but that's fine. We're not going to talk about it. Like, and it's one of those things that it's so much fun just to be able to meet these people. And with our friend Scott too, the Frozen Gamer, like, we get to now also see his passion and watch him live out like his dream on YouTube, sharing his reviews with it. But we never would have met these amazing people if it wasn't for this group. And now we all get together twice a year at our own mini board game convention. We go to the Dice Tower East, which is actually where we had our honeymoon too. Like, it's been something that's been such a blessing, not just for us to make new friends, but also for us to grow in our relationship with each other and our marriage. And it's been so great just to be able to get to meet so many people. And for me, one of the other reasons why I love gaming is just the puzzle that comes with it. I like to solve things, so I'm a learner and achiever. I like to learn how to do new things, but then I also like to be able to achieve those things. So I come from a very competitive family, like I said. I don't like to lose, and this actually,
guys.
Board gaming has taught me how to lose, which sounds kind of weird to say.
I don't care about winning.
He just wants to have fun. I'm here to win.
I'm here to have fun.
Which I definitely had to grow in that quite a bit, but I love trying to figure out that puzzleness, and it's a great way for me to show my competitive side. Sports is something now is I get to coach, but I can't play competitively anymore. I had a pretty bad career-ending injury in my senior year of high school. That was really hard for me to kind of get through, saying, man, I can't do the thing I really love to do. And board gaming's been really nice because it's kind of filled that gap for me. And I have friends who like, oh yeah, every Tuesday, let's go play volleyball. And I'm like, oh man, I can't do that. Like, I can't risk getting injured again. So this way I can still have that competitiveness on Tuesday nights or on Wednesday nights, but we ain't going to the indoor volleyball league. We're going to our board game store and just kind of hanging out with people that we know really care about us too. We have so many friends who are like, hey, I'm really struggling. You're down there. Okay, I got you. I'll pray for you. Let me know what you need. Like, I can come over. I can bring you dinner. And that's something that I really value. Caesar.
Yes.
What is our channel even going to be about?
Well, what is the channel about? We're going to share our love for gaming. We're going to do a lot of some stuff we've already posted. We probably should have done this video first, but we decided we didn't do this video first. We're going to do some stuff with Star Wars Unlimited that you've already seen. So we're going to do a lot of decks, battles, and gameplay. I'm going to try and beat Caitlin, even though she normally wins. So we're going to do a lot of Star Wars Unlimited unboxing and stuff like that. We're also going to be doing some top 10s. We're going to do our top 100 games and a few other top 10s we have listed out that we're going to do, and some playthroughs. We're going to do some playthroughs of some game. We got a couple right here that we're going to get ready to film. We're going to be doing Sail, and we're going to be doing Mountain Goats. So they're going to have their own videos coming up soon. And then just catch us live on Twitch.
And I think through, like, when we go live on Twitch, we want to create a really safe place for people who maybe were a little bit more like me, who I grew up in definitely a different world compared to board gaming. So we want to create a safe place that you can ask questions about a hobby that honestly can be very overwhelming. And we want to let you guys know what some really nice, welcoming games are to the hobby, saying, hey, I'm kind of interested. What games maybe can I start with? Like, I've played Catan. Maybe it could be a next step. I definitely don't like Catan, by the way. I'm going to put that out there. But we want to make sure that you guys have this nice, safe place to ask those questions, to learn more about something that we love. And also, I'm kind of into painting board game pieces. You actually can kind of see behind Caesar some of our Marvel United stuff. So we'll also kind of share with you guys some of our painting.
Yep.
Full disclosure, we are not professional painters. Very blessed that we have friends who trust us enough to paint some of their board game pieces. But we really just want to share with you guys our hobby and why we love it so much. But thank you guys so much for just learning more about the Ceasars and who we are as well. Don't forget, make sure you guys comment below, like and subscribe. Share this with your friends too.
Yep, ring that bell so you get notifications every time we post a video.
Yeah, and you get to see kind of our craziness and our weirdness. This is who we are.
Yep.
We are very transparent people, but we're here to have
for
a
the
good
world
time.
to see.
Here to have a
Just
good time.
us. Yep.
Here for the team.
We are here for the team.
Specifically the Caesar board game team at this
That's right.
point. But thank you guys so much for joining us today. I'm Caitlin.
I'm Caesar.
And don't forget to
Seize the game.